Good morning, students. In this part of our class 9th SST video, I am going to explain you that what is the revised syllabus of SST for the session 2020 and 2020 and 21. So, in history for class 9th, the syllabus which has revised it is in history you are having three chapters. First is the French Revolution, second socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution, lesson third Nazism and the rise of Hitler. It means in history you are having three chapters as a total way. Now geography, lesson 1 India, lesson 2 physical features of India, lesson third drainage. Only map points should be completed for board exam. It means in lesson 3 drainage there is no need to go theoretically, no need to do question answer, no need to explain the chapter. Only map points we have to study and we have to fill the map from this chapter drainage. Now lesson 4 climate and lesson 5 natural vegetation and wildlife. These lesson 4 and 5 we have to study completely like the lesson first and second in geography, but as far as drainage is concerned we will study only map point. Then in civics political science there are four chapters. First is what is democracy, why democracy, lesson 2 constitutional design, lesson 3 electoral politics, lesson 4 working of institutions. So in political science there are four chapters which we have to study thoroughly, which we have to completely study and make notes and then do the question answer. Now in economics we are having three chapters as a whole. Lesson 1 the story of village Palampur, lesson 2 people as resource, and lesson 3 poverty as a challenge. So it means in economics class 9th you are having this year in revised syllabus of SST you have in economics total three chapters. First chapter is already completed and second is half done, so we will complete it in the further video. And in political science total four chapters, in geography total five chapter but one chapter is only for map point. In history you are having three chapters and among them first two chapters we already completed. The French Revolution, the socialism, Europe and Russian Revolution. We have to study now the Nazism and the rise of Hitler. But now in this video I am going to start the very first chapter of political science. As in political science not a single chapter is started. So we are starting in this video the first chapter of political science. What is democracy? Why democracy? So when we study this chapter, that first of all that what is democracy? As you people know that it is a system of government and India is a democratic nation, that it is a system of government where we people are free to choose our representative through the power of vote. That is a common definition of which you have studied up to the class 8th. Now what is different in this chapter, that when there are some country we are comparing the countries like Chile, that how it was before and after the rule of Pinochet. Then situation in Poland after the fall of communist rule, that how was the situation in Poland when there was a fall of communist rule. And then Ghana in the early period of the government of Nkrumah. So it is all that here the different countries are comparing that how they struggled for the democracy. And now that next topic which we have to understood, that why define democracy, that why there is a need to define the democracy. But before it you have to know that on the basis of the analysis we can try to elaborate some common features of democratic governments and non-democratic governments. You can understand that what is the difference between democratic government and non-democratic. Non-democratic country, the country which are not having democracy in the democratic in their government system, and there will maybe the army rule, one man party rule or president rule. There are so many countries which are not having the democratic system of government. So these known as non-democratic nation. Now that we are going to understand that why define democracy, why there is a need to define the democracy to um, you can say explain and to clarify that what is the meaning of democracy, what is the reason. So that before we move further we will first Take note of an objection raised by Mary. She does not like this way of defining democracy and wants to ask some basic question. So here, through a story with a character, we are going to understand that what is the meaning of democracy. There is a girl whose name is Mary, and she wants to know that what is the exact definition of democracy. Matilda Lingdo, who is her teacher, responds to her question as other classmates to join the discussion. So through a discussion with the teacher and with the students, that what is the question of the student, that they want to know what is the meaning of democracy and how their teacher Matilda Lingdo give them answer. That Mary asked to ma'am, I don't like this idea. First, take one whole chapter discussing democracies in various parts of the world, and then we want to search out meaning of democracy. I mean, logically, shouldn't we have approached it the other way round? Shouldn't the meaning have come first and then the example? Yes. So it is a point of view of a student in front of the teacher, that she is saying that first of all we have to explain that we all student should be having the definition of democracy, and then we have to relate the democratic type of system of government with that various countries name, that which are the country where democracy is applicable. She asked to her teacher that why we are having the country's name first and then we are defining the democracy. And according to Mary, first the definition should be clear of the democracy, and then we have to take the example of the different countries. Now, what her teacher replied, Lingdo madam, I can understand your point, but that is not how we reason in our everyday life. We use words like pen, rain, or love. Do we want to have a definition of these words before we use them? Come to think of it, we have clear definition or meaning of these words? It is only by using a word that we understand its meaning. Now, what a wonderful answer by the teacher. The teacher replied Mary that when we use the thing practically, then definitely we understood their meaning. As she quoted that we are using umbrella during the rainy days or the summer day, so there is no need to make the students the meaning of umbrella, that why umbrella is important, what is the use of umbrella. As if we are doing the thing practically, then there is no need to learn them theoretically. It is the point of view of her teacher. As in the starting of chapter, the country's name come first, Chile and Poland and then Ghana, and then we are discussing that what is all about the democracy. That's why the student was not satisfied. She asked to the teacher that first we have to know the definition, then we quote the other countries. Now, that it is only by using a word that understand its meaning, that when we use the thing, then definitely we know about their, you can say, uses and its meaning. Now Mary, their conversation is going on. Then Mary replied, but damn, why do we need definition at all? Then student asked, if there is not if it is not important, then why before studying anything we need the definition of various things. Then what Lingdo madam replied, a definition is needed by us only when we come across a difficulty in the use of a word. We need a definition of rain only when we want to distinguish it from, say, drizzle or you can say cloudburst. The same is true for democracy. We need a clear definition only because it is used for different purposes by the people, and because very different kinds of governments feel better to call themselves democracy. Now, the teacher explained that we need the definition at some you can say various time, and at some particular time we need the definition when there is a need. but in a common way, when we implement the things, then definitely we come across the definition. In the same way as democracy, the same is true for democracy. We need a clear definition only because it is used for different. Yes, that why we need to understand the meaning of democracy. Her teacher told, as the democracy is applied by the people in a different manner. As if we talk about that India is a democratic country, or India's government is applying the democracy, so democracy for the people is mean common people take the democracy in its meaning as they are free to choose their representative. And at the same time, democracy meaning for the government minister is different, where they are liable to fulfill the, you can say, needs and requirements for the people at least 5 years. So that's why the meaning of democracy is different for the different people. Now, revenge. But why do we need to work on a definition? Now, the another student also joined the conversation and he asked, but why do we need to work on a definition? The other day, you quoted the example of Abraham Lincoln to us. Democracy is a rule of the people, for the people, and by the people. We in Meghalaya always ruled ourselves. This is accepted by everyone. Why do we require to change that? Now, another student joined the conversation and he said that, but why we should work on the definition, as you have given us the example of Abraham Lincoln. And according to Abraham Lincoln, democracy means that it is a rule for the people, by the people, and to the people. Now, and we in Meghalaya, it means Ribang belong to the Meghalaya, and he was saying that we always ruled ourselves, that is accepted by everyone. Why do we require to change that? It means Ribang is happy whatever type of system in Meghalaya is at present. Now, Lingdo madam. Now, the madam replied to the other student also that I am not saying we require to change it. For me, too, this definition is a very beautiful, but we don't know if this is the first way of defining unless we think about it ourselves. We must not follow something just because it is famous. Important. We must not follow something of just because it is famous, just because everyone follows it. This is the essence of the conversation, that according to ma'am, that in our life whatever we want to whatever we are going to follow, we shouldn't just only follow the things if that only that it is famous. It is not only a great idea that we have to follow something or follow someone because they are famous or because everyone is blindly following it. It means we have to use our brain and understand. That's why there is a need to understand that what is all about democracy. Now, Yolanda, another student asked, ma'am, can I suggest something? We don't require to look for any definition. I read somewhere that the word democracy has been taken from a Greek word demokratia. In a Greek, demos means people and kratia means rule. So, democracy is ruled by the people. This is the correct meaning. So, there is no need to debate. Now, the another student also take part in the conversation and he replied that according to me, that I have studied that democratic word has taken from the Greek word, and its meaning is demos means people and kratia means rule. It means the people's rule. So, it is enough to understand that it is a rule of people. So, there is no need to debate. Now, Lingdo madam, this is also a very helpful way of thinking about this matter. I would just state that this does not always work. A, a, com- a world does not remain tied to its origin. Just take the example of computers. Originally, they were used for computing. That is to say, calculating very difficult mathematical problems. These were very powerful calculator. But nowadays very few people use computers for computing sums. They use it for various purposes such as for writing, for designing, for listening to music and for watching films. Words remain the same, but their meaning may change with time. In that case, it is not very useful to look at the origin of a word. That you all children understand that how the students are coming with a different idea, and how they are sharing that, and how the teacher is correcting them. That the ma'am replied that according to the time, she has quoted the example of computer, that computer has invented just for the calculation work, to do the mathematical problems. But nowadays how the different type of people using the computers, and in the same way cell phones, as the cell phone is basically developed for communication, that we can talk to each other, we can talk to each other. But nowadays how the technology developed, the same cell phone is used, that the latest example that we are giving you online videos, the teacher are using the same device in a different manner. So for us the cell phone is the best medium to educate the student through the video. At the same time the people are also watching videos and the songs and films on the same mobile. So according to the people's need, its meaning is, the meaning of the cell phone is taking different forms and types. Now so the ma'am replied that it is not enough to know that from where this word has originated and what is its meaning all about. It means the teacher is not satisfied just to learn the definition of democracy without knowing that what is all about democracy and how it has developed in a nation through the help of various countries, and what is the role of democracy and how we have to support, we have to need to know actually that if we are living in India, which is a democratic nation, then what is all about as a citizen, what are our responsibility, what is our moral duty, and how we are bound to follow the constitution. It is all about that. It means just not only to just give the definition of Abraham Lincoln, that democracy a system of government and it is for the people, by the people and of the people. It is not. First of all you have to practically understand the thing. That's why Lingdo madam is not fully satisfied with the answer of lots of students. Now we will continue the conversation. Then Mary replied, ma'am, so fundamentally what you are trying to explain is that there is no shortcut to our thinking about the matter ourselves. We must think about its meaning and evolve a definition. Lingdo madam, you got me right. Let us get on with it now. Now the Mary asked that then fundamentally that what you want to explain and how the definition of democracy will be clear. So Lingdo ma'am replied that you got my idea and now we will go through it. Now a simple definition. Now the simple definition according to the ma'am, that now we come back to our discussion on similarity and differences between governments that are called democracy. In the last chapter, we had identified one simple factor that was common to all democracies. It is the people who elect their government. So, when we compare the various type of democracy around the world, so one common feature among all types of democracy is that one simple factor that was common to all, that democracy, it is the people who elect their government. As how we elect our government, when we give our vote. So it is a common feature in all type of democratic system. The country which are having the democracy, they are giving the power to the people that they can freely elect their government. We could thus begin with a simple definition. That's why we can ourselves define the democracy in our definition on the basis of this common feature. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. It is a common definition for all types of democratic countries around the world that democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Rulers means in the form of chief minister, prime minister, that they are elected by our vote. That's why it is a form of government in which rulers are elected by the people. So it is the solid and clear and authentic definition according to the teacher. Now this is a useful beginning point. This definition permits us to distinguish democracy from forms of government that are clearly not democratic. That with this definition we can help to know that how the democratic government is different from the non-democratic country. The army rulers of Myanmar are not elected by the people. That's why Myanmar was not a democratic nation. Those who happen to be in control of the army become the rulers of the country. People have nothing to say in this decision. So people are not free to give their you can say views or their opinion. Dictators like Pinochet are not elected by the people. Now if we take the example of Poland, then we come to know that Pinochet was also autocratic ruler. This similarly applies to monarchies. Democratic, if it is not, it is one man rule. It is all about that. As we have faced the monarchy system, then the king of Nepal and Saudi Arabian rule not because the people have elected them to do so, but because they happen to born into the royal family, just like that inheritance, that just like a monarchy system, that they are having the inherited, they born in the royal family. That's why they are becoming the new king or the new, you can say, representative of the nation, as it had happened in Nepal and Saudi Arabia. So these are the countries' name in which we are finding whether it is Myanmar, there was a army rule, whether it is a Poland, that Pinochet was also the one man person dictatorship there. So it is also not that there is no role of the common people. And in the same way, Nepal and Saudi Arabia, they are becoming the representative of their country as they belong to the same royal family. So it is all about that. It clears that where there is a no role and the participation of the people to choose their representative in the following country, it means it is not the democratic nation, it means they are the non-democratic countries. Now the simple definition is not sufficient. Now according to the teacher, the simple definition is not sufficient. It makes us to remind that democracy is people's rule. But if this definition is used in an unthinking manner by us, we would end up calling almost every government that holds an election a democracy. That would be very perplexing. As we shall see in chapter 4, every government in contemporary world wishes to be called a democracy, even if it is not so. That is why we require to clarify, distinguish between a government that is democracy and one that pretends to be one. Yes, that nowadays we can see that every nation is trying to quote themselves that they are democratic nation, but how many are really democratic nation? It is a big question. We can do so understanding each word in this definition carefully and spelling out the feature of democratic government, so that it will help us to segregate, to categorize the pure democratic country and the non-democratic nation, or the country which pretends that they are the democratic nation but in real manner they are not, they are far away from the democratic nation. Now for this we have to study the feature of democracy. So what are the features of democracy? That there are some. We have begun with a simple definition that democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. This definition raises a number of questions. Yes, when we study this definition, there are so many questions arises with the definition, and it becomes a feature of democracy. According to the definition, who are the rulers in this definition? First of all, which official must be elected for any government to be called a democracy? Which should be the kind of decision that may be taken by the non-elected officials in a democracy? Second, what kind of election constitutes a democratic elections? What should what should be the condition that must be fulfilled for an election to be considered democratic? Next, who are the people who can elect the rulers? Yes, who are these people or get elected as a ruler? That what is the difference between the people who get elected and who elect them? Who are they? Should this include every citizen on an equal basis? Can this right be denied to some citizen by a democracy? Or there are some special people who will be the ruler, or there are the other people who will choose them? Is there any definition for this? Finally, the kind of a form government is democracy. Can elected rulers do whatever they want in a democracy, or must a democratic government function with some limits? Is it essential for a democracy to respect some rights of the citizen? So these are some questions that when we say what is the features of democracy, so these are 5 questions that when we give the example of democratic system of government, these are some system which gives that if what are the answer of these questions, that who were the ruler. If we are talking about the democratic system, then who will be the ruler and who will choose them? Second, what kind of election we imagine in a democratic system, that as in India, after every 5 years there are elections to elect our representative in the form of chief minister and in the form of prime minister. Now, who are the people who can elect the rulers? Yes, who will be the, are they only male or female, or every citizen? As in India, everybody is free, it's whether they are male or female, up to the age of 18. But the age limit is decided that below 18 nobody can get elected and nobody can give their vote to the representative. Now, finally, that what kind of form of government is democracy, and can elected rulers do? Yes, and if the rulers get elected, that they are free to do anything, they can do anything what they want, or must a democratic government function will some limits, or these democratic rulers, when they get elected, when they become prime minister or chief minister, they are also having their limitation, that they cannot do whatever they want, otherwise it will be autocratic rule. Is it essential for democracy to respect some rights of the citizen, or when the democracy applies in a country, so there is a rule and regulation that they have to respect the citizen of the country? These are the some question when we talk about that what are the features of democracy. We will discuss each of these questions with the help of some examples. Major decision by elected leaders, that what are the power of the elected people who get elected, who became the PM or CM. That in Pakistan we are giving example of a country. Through the example we are coming to know that how the elected person having the power that major decision by elected leaders. That in Pakistan, a military coup led by General Pervez Musharraf took place in October 1999. The democratically elected government was thrown out by him. That how Pervez Musharraf thrown the democratic government. He then declared himself the chief executive of the country, and he himself chosen that he himself chose that he is the executive of the country, and he has thrown the democratic system from Pakistan. Later he changed his designation to president, and after that he himself became the president of the Pakistan. That you can understand that it is all about the autocratic rule. In 2002 he held a referendum in the country that granted him a 5-year extension, and in 2002 he himself granted a 5-year extension. Pakistani media, human rights organization and democracy activists cried foul by explaining that the referendum was based on malpractices and fraud. and he was doing the fraud. In August 2002, he issued a legal frame order that amended the constitution of Pakistan. According to this order, the president was empowered to dismiss the national provincial assemblies. Now you can see that how, when we study the case of Pakistan, that how Parvez Musharraf just thrown the democratic system from Pakistan, and he himself declared him a chief of army, and later he himself declared as a president of Pakistan, and it shows that how autocratically he want to rule the nation. We will discuss it in the next video. Till then, goodbye and take care.